Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another episode of Reality Trash TV with Dollar Gillz. I'm your boy Dollar Gillz, and if you're new here, welcome. Let's be friends. Hit that subscribe button. Let's talk about Baddies West Season 3, Episode 2, Welcome to LA. Right away, we see the baddies getting it poppin'. We see Stunna attacking Rolly once again in the Sprinter van, and it looks like Biggie is like taking her sweater off, you know, getting ready. She's getting ready to get down. And then we see her charge at Stunna. It's a small space for all that action to be going down. Like, Rolly is trying her hardest to get out of the Sprinter van, but you know, there's all these securities around her. Security needs to be making bank because Zeus is putting them to work messing with these girls. And then everybody finally settles down. They're able to get Stunna off into another vehicle, which, you know, Rolly's still trying to get at her at this point. And then we have Lo come on our screens, and she's pretty much telling us that she feels like Natalie should have stepped up in that whole altercation between Stunna, Biggie, and Rolly and calmed the situation down, played the mediator part, and just, you know, played the EP part really, which low-key, I kind of agree with Lo on this, which Natalie should have stepped up. But I cannot knock Natalie's hustle, because I'm sure all she seen or all she heard was dollar signs. You know, she was like, shit, this is good TV. Why would she stop it? You know, this is what the fans want. And then we have Kat on our screens letting Biggie know that she's glad that they didn't jump Stunna. She is not cool with jumping, and you know, the tone is very direct. Like, she's speaking to her, she means it, and Kat feels like it didn't have to go down the way that it did, and she feels like Biggie was the instigator in this situation, which I totally agree. It felt like Biggie was trying to prove a point, but what point? I'm not sure. She feels like Stunna was just, you know, letting everybody know what it was, just getting it off her chest. But I do have to disagree with Kat on this one, because there was a meaning behind the words that Stunna was saying, and it wasn't in a positive way. And during the conversation with Kat, Biggie says that security was pretty much holding Rolly down and that Rolly couldn't get to Stunna, so she took it upon herself to hit her in her shit, referring to when she attacked Stunna Girl. So what we didn't see on camera was when Biggie attacked Stunna while security was holding Rolly, Kat either during or after stepped in the middle and was like, don't do that. Which it seems like that would be something that Kat would do. There's a lot of yelling at this point in the Sprinter van. Rolly's just trying to get her point across. Biggie's trying to defend herself in the whole her jumping into Rolly and Stunna's fight, and Kat's letting it be known to everybody that it's just one-on-ones, square up, and she's not with the jumping. And then this is where it starts getting a little messy, because Natalie says that she's a little nervous that she brought Stunna on the show because how she's beefing with everybody. And then she goes on to tell everybody that there was a meeting of some sort with Stunna, and Stunna says some unbelievable things, and of course Natalie's messy ass starts Googling, and this is what made me think, like, what the f***? Because of the allegations against Stunna being involved in some kidnapping and something about a dog cage. And then we finally see the baddies arriving to the house, and everybody's excited, and Natalie says that it's giving what it's supposed to give. It does look fancy though, I will say that much. The fancy ass Airbnb. And then Kat volunteers to go check on Stunna, which I thought was sweet of Kat. And then the girls walk into the house. It looks elegant, I'm not even gonna lie. It looks like a fancy ass place. Pinkies up. So Natalie says that she was in charge of assigning the roommates. Biggie and Krishan. Biggie seems like she's excited about it. Razor and Lo, they seem very excited to be rooming together. I'm thinking maybe that's the besties of the season. Looks like Scotty and Rolly are going to be rooming. Rolly was cool about it. Scotty said that it wasn't necessarily anything against Rolly. She just doesn't like sharing. Kat and Stunna are going to share a room. And then the girls make those little petty comments that are like, aww, like trying to be petty and cute at the same time. And it looks like Kat's going to check on Stunna in the car. And then Kat goes on to say that Stunna reminds her of her little sister. And then Stunna starts explaining what happened in the Sprinter van, why she got active. But what was funny was Kat asked Stunna, like, what happened? And Stunna says, "You know what happened, bitch, you were sitting right next to me." And then Stunna starts to tell Kat that the comment that she made on the Sprinter van wasn't directed towards Rolly. It was directed at Biggie due to their altercation and Biggie being the instigator in that altercation. But she can take it how she wants. Kat lets Stunna know that she wasn't about to let no one jump her, and Kat is really playing into this big sister role to Stunna and letting her know she has her back and trying to guide her and give her some advice, which is pretty cool to see that. And I do enjoy seeing Kat in that light. And Stunna thinks that Biggie turns into a different person when the cameras are on, meaning she's probably a camera gangster. So then we have Lo and Razor walking into their rooms, and there is one big, comfortable looking bed, and then like a small cot, kind of like jailhouse style bed in the corner. And what was funny in this scene was that Lo asked, "Who the fuck is sleeping in the doggy bed?" Which, you know, low key, that's what it looked like. It just looked like a piece of fabric on the floor. The next scene, we have Kat and Stunna finally walking into the house. Kat says she wants peace and that she's drained and she is ready to get to the fun shit. Which I don't blame her, because I would imagine that is a lot of energy to be around, and I would imagine how tiring that would get. And Natalie lets it be known that everyone needs to talk, and Kat seems to agree because she feels like everyone just needs to get it off their chest. Stunna seems like she's ready for the house meeting, but I mean, she probably wants to do more than just talk. And then Kat gives Stunna some advice, you know, playing into the role of the big sister, which is actually good advice because she told her to just, you know, hear them out, see what they got to say first. Maybe it could be worked out with just a simple conversation or just come to a common ground, because it's still early in the season and she's already beefing with half the cast already. I mean, it's good TV so far, but, you know, I would like to see a little bit more interaction between the girls besides just fighting. Krishan, Rock, and DJ Sky High Baby finally arrived to the house. They both look really good. Natalie pretty much saying that the whole reason DJ Sky High Baby is even on the cast was to keep Krishan in line, aka a babysitter. And then in the next scene, we see Natalie spilling the tea to Krishan, Rock, and DJ Sky High Baby about the recent events that unfolded. And Krishan says that she does like Stunna and she seems like a stepper, and she lets it be known that she's not here to fight, and she admits that she's working on her temper, but we will see how true that is. Natalie lets Krishan know that the girls think that she is Hollywood, in the sense that she's always late. They're always having to wait for her, that she runs on her own time, because the girls are pretty much upset about it, or some of them feel a certain kind of way about having to wait for her. And then we see Natalie summoning Biggie to give her her first job as her right-hand man, and it is to gather all the girls for the big house meeting. And out of nowhere, while Natalie and Krishan and DJ Sky High are talking in what looks like a living room, an altercation happens in the hallway, and then we see Rolly, and she tells us that they're walking into the living room, and Stunna runs up on Biggie, which the camera guys, y'all were lacking in this scene, because all we seen like glimpses of what looked like the start of the altercation in the hallway, and then it cuts to like Rolly looking like she was trying to attack Stunna, but then security got her while there was another security on Stunna. So it was a little, I wish we would have seen more of that whole situation, but the camera guys were lacking there. And then Stunna says that she wants her ones with Biggie and Rolly, but more so with Biggie, because from what Stunna says, she already pieced Rolly up. Now everybody's going into the living room. The girls walk in. You can tell the tensions are high between everybody because Rolly's standing up. And then we see Stunna. She's isolated into another room from the girls. And then we see Kat on the side of Stunna. It is clear that Kat has picked a side and she's staying by Stunna's side while the other girls are in the other room. The meeting starts. Natalie says that they have a lot to talk about and a lot has been going on. And then we have Lo speaking her piece and just telling everybody that she thinks that the photo shoot was a waste of time. And low-key, though, she was directing what she was saying at Krishan because of her being late. And Krishan really isn't feeling what Lo was saying because you can tell her whole body language and her facial expression changes at that point when she realizes that Lo was talking about her. And to be fair, Lo says that Stunna wasted everybody's time at the photo shoot as well because of the altercation that happened with Tommy. And then we have Biggie throwing her 2 cents in about how she was not feeling the lack of professionalism by certain people and certain events, but she was probably directing that at Stunna. As Lo was explaining to Krishan about how she and Stunna wasted everybody's time, it really seemed like she was being genuine about the whole situation. She was just trying to explain herself. She was just trying to get it off her chest and why she felt that way with no attitude, with no negative energy. And then Krishan attacks Lo. Krishan hopped up off that couch quicker than security could get her and starts giving Lo the business. And then we see security finally getting in the middle, and then everybody's getting tossed around, and there's a lot of commotion, and then the episode ends. This episode started with a fight and ended with a fight in true Zeus fashion, which I like. I like this episode though because I feel like all the girls got some camera time. We were able to see some of their personalities and there wasn't too much going on, but there was just enough. The drama was there and it led up to that ending scene with Lo and Krishan getting physical. I did think that the whole appointing Biggie as a right-hand man was a little weird and maybe unnecessary, but maybe Miss Natalie Nunn is playing puppet master with that whole situation. I'm really glad to see that there were no bunk beds this season. Last season I always felt so bad whenever they would walk in and it's like a fucking bunk bed. For one, having to have a roommate, you know, being an adult, and then 2, having to feel like a 12-year-old at a sleepover. I like what we did see, minus the fights of the girls interacting with each other and coexisting. I enjoyed seeing Kat played the whole big sister role to Stunna. I just hope that it doesn't bring Kat unnecessary drama because it's clear that she's picked a side, and she's picked a side with someone who has the most drama in the house with people, you know. I would hate for Kat having to get into these physical altercations over somebody else, but it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. I want to thank you guys for tuning in on this episode of Reality Trash TV with Dollar Gillz. I'm your boy Dollar Gillz. Be sure to like, subscribe, and turn the notifications on so we can discuss Baddies West even more. Be sure to let me know your thoughts on this week's episode down below in the comment section. Let me know if you agreed or disagreed with what I had to say about this week's episode down below in the comment section. And if you want to interact with me even more, be sure to follow me on Instagram at Dollar Gillz with 2 L's and a Z. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Cheers.